Sunday Night Safran. Religion, politics, culture, and lisping.
Shalom, salam, Pax, hello Father Bob, and dear listener. And tonight, because our fearless leader, K. Rudd, has just gone through Japan, we thought we'd get in a Japan expert, the half-Japanese scientist Michiko Smith, to talk about a peculiar aspect of Japanese society and belief. It'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, nothing. What do you expect on this program?
We have Shrinivas Krishna, who's going to be talking about Hinduism and Hindu art. We have this guy. Did you read his book, this guy?
Yes,
John
I read
Archer,
the book. Yes,
author of The Wisdom of Water.
Yes. I was asked to read the book. I read the book.
Do you reckon he's...
He's all right. The Maguires are a bit water-oriented.
There's God in water and stuff.
That's all right. Yes. And I'm with him on all those things, and then you've got your friends, the Altar Boys.
A comedy Christian musical act. Hey, Father Bob.
What?
If you if you know when you
speak freely, you know.
You know, like when you go out with someone and you're in the public eye, or you marry someone, and then you have to, if your partner happens to be into some political cause, you have to get on board with it.
Yeah.
So it's like Jim Carrey has to like an idiot now has to go on all these shows that he can get on because he's famous, and they want him on because he's famous. And talk about the link between, vaccination shots and autism, because he started going out with Jenny McCarthy, who believes in that. And this week, he did it like a march on Washington. It's like Jim Carrey wearing his Green Now Vaccine T-shirts, marching with all these other conspiracy theorists.
Liar, Jim Carrey.
Shouting through a megaphone about...
autism and vaccination.
I just so know. And then Larry David, that's his name, the guy from the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
His wife was into all these environmental stuff, so he had to go along with it like an idiot, just sit there with this mopey look on his face, because he's not really into it above and beyond. It's keeping his wife happy. Well, and then they got divorced, and then it's like he's not turning up to any environmental things anymore.
Someone rang me up, for example, when Les Twentyman decided to stand for the seat of Koroit. Would I like to say something in support? And I'm thinking, well, hang on, I've got to think twice now, because my mate Les Twentyman, youth worker, is now standing for a seat in Parliament. What am I supposed to say? Yes, of course, I agree with every political statement made by Les. Thank you for making that point.
I just so know I'm going to get married to someone
in a minute
who's going to be like a
politician,
a 9/11 conspiracy theorist, and I'll have to be on.
You'll turn.
Yeah, well, I'll have to be on Denton.
Yeah.
And you be me.
Yeah.
I'll be Denton.
Yeah.
Or do you want to be Denton? And
I'll be Denton. John, when did you decide to turn completely around on this issue?
Well, I just don't like it, the way that the metal melts. It's like metal just doesn't melt like that. It's never melted like that before in the whole history of engineering.
John,
so how did Building 7 just come down like that?
And you also, I know, happen to be a member of the Jewish people. Why was it that no Jewish person turned up in the building, John?
That's interesting, because there is evidence that they all got a text message saying don't turn up to the building.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting there holding the hand of my wife, who's just nodding, and it's going to be very.
I'm sure you'll manage it. Show business, isn't it? Eh?
Do you have... I don't like when people draw the line in the sand too early in a conversation. I was sitting somewhere last week, and the person was looking across the road to a Nando's chicken place, and it was in a slightly zhuzhy part of town, but not totally, but just and they said, isn't it awful when a place like Nando's opens up, it just ruins it all and blah, blah, blah. And then you just have to sit there.
And that's it. Well, what can you do? You can't...
Yeah, it's because I don't... It's not like I'm going to go into bat... I don't agree with her.
Was this a new relationship?
No. This wasn't any... Don't worry.
So you could have drawn the
Don't worry,
line.
I'm not going to be on Denton talking about how I can't stand the gentrification of city landscapes
Yes,
with
and
fast
you can't
food
see
joints.
anything wrong with Nando's being in the middle.
There's so little I've realised
You say
that's like
zhu
worth
zhu.
fighting for.
What shoes you mean?
There's so little that's worth fighting for. Like, what am I meant to do? Like, I just think this woman is totally wrong about the whole Nando thing.
Yeah.
But, like, what? I'm going to have an argument with her?
Keep your powder dry, you were told, for the real shootout.
Yep. Good
All right?
point.
As that's what Lao Tse said. Right?
Is that like the art
Do
of
not
war?
before the... Exactly. You see? And as Confucius said before him, right? Keep powder dry. He left out the article. The
Speaking of all things Asian, we will be talking about...
Michiko.
We'll have
Blood.
half-Japanese scientist Michiko Smith coming in next to talk about Japan and science.
Dukes of Windsor with No Disguise, John. Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
Thank you, Father Bob. Joining us is half-Japanese scientist Michiko Smith.
Hi, John. Hi, Father Bob.
Now, our fearless leader, Kay Rudd, has just been going through Japan, so I thought it was time was appropriate to bring up this issue, which is the Japanese kiddies. If you play, like, your Nintendos and stuff, you might notice that often in, like, the profile section of your little warlock or whatever, it says blood type, and that's because the Japanese are obsessed with blood type. But even though it has this innocuous application, like on Nintendo or whatever,
In real life.
it goes back. It has a very dark, and some might say even evil history. Please tell us about it, half-Japanese scientist Michiko Smith.
Okay, well, it does have a dark history. Sort of back in the late 1800s and 1900s, eugenics was like a popular field in science before scientists realised it was rubbish.
And what's eugenics?
Eugenics is basically where your genes determine your personality type or your intelligence. So people were using that to discriminate amongst different ethnic groups or different types of people. And so at that time, sort of that kind of feel was in the air. And then in 1901, ABO blood types were discovered. So that's, you know how you can have a blood type A, B, AB or O. So that whole thing was discovered. And so some, or not all, some scientists decided they would look at different blood types amongst different ethnic groups and see if they could differentiate between them.
So within an ethnic group, it's likely that a lot of its members will have the same blood type.
Yeah, so it just so happens that amongst Europeans, they're mainly A's and O's. There's not many B's and not many ABs. And actually, what happens is in a lot of Asian ethnic groups, there's a lot of B's. So you can see differences across, different nations.
And so what specifically happened with the Japanese people?
Well, the Japanese people, it's apparently it came out of Japan's occupation of Taiwan in the late 1800s. When they occupied Taiwan, they discovered that the Taiwanese fought the Japanese a lot and didn't just roll over and accept this. And so the Japanese thought, apparently, that was quite a different behaviour to what they had seen with the Ainu people, which were the indigenous Japanese people up north in Hokkaido. So one particular scientist, and he's called Take Furukawa, he did a study on the different blood type distributions between Taiwanese and the Ainu people. And he published this in a psychology journal, and he found that the Taiwanese were mainly O's and the Ainus were mainly A's, I think. And so he said, well, that's obviously why the Taiwanese don't like that's why they'll fight against the
they have a
Japanese, because
different
they're
temperament.
bolder, they have a different temperament, yeah.
And so did this catch on?
So that caught on. Basically, the Japanese occupying Taiwan were encouraged to marry Taiwanese and mix the cultures, mix the races, sorry. And also...
So it was like the opposite of what usually that kind of racism is, where it's like, don't mix with those people because they're different.
It was more like diluted out. Yeah. So, but then that study sort of took hold in Japan, and people became quite obsessed with the ABO, blood type differences. But to the point where when you were applying for a job or something like that, you'd have to put down what blood type you were, and depending on that, they would sort of suggest that you were perhaps better as an accountant or an artist or, whatever it might be.
And so... Did it just kind of keep on going along and everyone was believing in it, or did it die out?
No, it died out pretty much when people figured out that eugenics was a load of rubbish. They figured out that ABO, blood type personalities, was also a load of rubbish. So it died out sort of the late 1930s. But then in 1970, this lawyer, Journo, decided he'd write a book about it. And popular culture caught on to it, and now it's really popular again amongst all. So, like when you look up your favourite celebrity's website and stuff, you can see what blood type they are. It's pretty much as popular as horoscopes are here, yeah.
So you don't take it all that seriously.
No, well,
but there's a lingering interest that maybe it's true.
Yeah, I don't know, I think the older generation is still really into it, because I know my grandma is. She's still, if Mum does anything that annoys her, she'll blame it on the blood type. And she'll say, she should never have married her father, because she's ended up with a child with that blood type.
What, she's an A or a B?
Mum's a B, which apparently isn't as bad as an AB, but it's still not good enough for my grandma.
So that celebrity chef will be throwing those words around soon in the kitchen, won't he?
And so
you're an AB.
Yeah.
So if you go to a dating agency in Japan, you have to give your blood type.
Yeah, well, some of them do rely on that. So, it's just like, I don't know, a Sagittarian should date an Aquarian or something. They've got all of those. But I guess there's only 4 groups to... So, do you know what blood type you are?
I do.
What are you?
A negative.
We don't care about the negatives or positives, actually, so it's just...
Oh, how open-minded of you Japanese people. You just divide into the letters but not the positive or negative.
So go on, tell us
I'm A.
So you should date an A or an AB.
But it says here his worst traits are fastidious and over-earnest.
Yeah.
Would we stick to that with regards to John Safran?
There was
his best traits are earnest, creative, sensible and calm.
It must stretch to other parts. I'm so stupid about migration and stuff in that area that I don't quite understand it. But it must have spread to South Korea, because there's a South Korean film called My Boyfriend is a...
AB or something like that. Yeah, so
and it's like a whole romantic comedy just based on this premise.
Apparently it's, it did catch on in South Korea, and it's just as popular over there from what I understand. Yeah.
And Bobby, what blood type are you?
But I reckon I'm probably a no.
It doesn't matter, though. You can't do anything about it because you're celibate.
Exactly. It's not. You're not looking for a match.
It's also who you're good to work with.
Oh, is that to pair? What A's work well with A's?
A's work well with A's and ABs. So if you're not an A or AB, you two wouldn't be particularly good at working.
Oh, look at this. We work
other.
so well together. I must be an A. Yes. Fastidious and over-earnest.
Yeah, and calm.
But what about, I'd love some B's around. Wild, doers, cheerful. Huh?
They're apparently good as hunters, bees.
Ah. And what about the Koreans?
Yeah, they're into it as well.
See, I'm interested because I've never been anywhere, so therefore I have to watch foreign films. So you laugh at, he'll say boring, but I mean I'm interested in that connection between the Koreans and the Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know when the Koreans got into it, whether it was like the first time round with the whole eugenics thing or the second time round when it was just sort of a pop culture thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but that goes back to the same... The earlier model, the 1800s, goes back to the same time we were mucking around bumps on heads.
With ferret.
Oh, yeah.
See? Exactly.
When they're like measuring Jewish noses and stuff.
It's all that, see? Bumps on heads.
Yeah, a lot of unscientific...
See, black guys can't swim.
Yeah.
White guys can't jump.
Yeah, it's all of that sort of...
Is there nothing in it at all? There daren't be anything in it.
Scientific
because we can all override whatever negative features there are.
I used to find it outrageous and like racist, the whole thing of, IQ and blah, blah, until I found out that the Ashkenazi Jews were meant to be very smart. Then I totally turned around on the whole issue and thought, my God, this is true.
But break something on this program now. Are all the members of the Jewish people of the same blood type throughout the universe?
Why would I know that?
You should be in your books, be in your reference files.
I'll check.
Will you check that?
I'll ask at my next Elders of Zion meeting.
Must be something that binds us all together. That's what I reckon that is.
Thank you very much, Michiko Smith,
Thank
for
you.
telling us this new thing we did not know.
We didn't ask
about
what she was.
Oh, yeah, what's your blood type?
I'm an O.
We were attracted already. I claimed to be an O.
Yeah,
Probably
I'm
am
sociable and vain, apparently.
not.
Yeah.
Is that true, do you think?
Oh, I'd like to think not, but...
But you're agreeable and an optimist.
Yeah, possibly, at
See?
times, maybe.
But ruthless to boot.
If you
would
get
you
to know
agree
me.
to that?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
So she got the ruthless look on her now.
Thank you very
John.
much,
Yes, thank
Michiko
you.
Smith.
We could have gone on all night.
This is Sunday Night Safran with John Safran and Father Bob.
Hey, Father Bob, what do you make of this? That remember how we were talking about the tour shaker last week, and only 4 of them left in the world. Well, I was telling my dad that over a kebab, and he said to me, he wondered whether because my dad's an accountant and knows all about like tax law and all that kind of stuff. He says, when there's an organisation, if enough of the members die, it's like last one left standing gets all the assets. And he was wondering whether these shakers, like they actually don't want any new members because the last shaker left standing will be getting like all the shaker property. And then I remembered that the Serb that I work with, and she worked on this documentary about nuns, and she told me a similar thing. She said that when she was there filming these nuns, there were like some younger nuns younger women would come in and want to join the nunnery, and they'd be like really discouraging, like saying, "Oh, we don't want you to join, don't want you to join." And it was the older nuns were paranoid that the younger nuns were just trying to come. So then when they die off, they'll get all the property.
Yeah.
Seems like an elaborate way to try to get money. It's like robbing a bank would be easier than, as a 17-year-old woman, I'm going to join a nunnery, so then in 40 years' time, when everyone finally dies off, I'll get the property.
Well, it sounds like the protocols of Alexander VI. So whatever about the protocols of
Have you heard this? What do you make of the Serbs' claim that the nuns aren't encouraging younger nuns to join because they're worried about their motives?
Well, it'll be a seller of a movie. Oh, yes, SBS make a lot of money out of that, if you could write that movie. But I don't believe that. We had a bunch of nuns who'd been in South Melbourne for 100 years until this year.
And then what happened?
They sold their property and because there's none of them left, apart from 1, 2 or 3. But those 1, 2 or 3 have to be looked after for the term of their natural life by the proceeds.
Bob, speaking of, you mentioned movies.
Yep.
You ruined a movie for me this week. I went to see Indiana Jones and the Magic
Crystal Skull
and the Magic Elves or whatever the hell it's called, and I couldn't get into it because Harrison Ford is so old.
Yeah,
because he's like nearly your age.
Yeah.
He's like 69.
Yeah, he
and
shouldn't
you're like
overdo it.
73.
He shouldn't
And so
overdo it.
every time in the movie, when he was like he'd be swinging on a whip. Right, and then landing and go flying through the air and then clunk. I just kept on thinking, if Bob did that,
exactly,
his bones would break.
Exactly. I exchanged with the man at the front desk here. I said, there's a ladder in the corner there. I said, I tried to climb that ladder last night, changed the light in my room. And as the higher I got, the more vertigo. Is it vertigo? Vertigo. Not vertigo is something else.
No.
I couldn't look up at the light bulb, John, because I'd fall backwards off the ladder. Now look at this, for God's sake, 73 years of age, what's happened since I was 48. You see? So I'm sorry I put you off.
I know, I couldn't enjoy that film. And also the other reason I couldn't enjoy Indiana Jones and the Magic Teapot, or whatever the hell it was called,
Crystal Skull,
was that I'd done all this reverse psychology in my head, and then reverse psychology, and then reverse psychology. What
happened?
Okay, so this is what happens is, so many people told me it was awful that I was thinking, oh, it's going to be enjoyable, because my expectations have been lowered so much. But then, oh, it's going to be enjoyable. Then that took over, and I was going, oh my God, now I'm going to be disappointed, because now I'm going to go in thinking it's going to be enjoyable.
And it is going to be
enjoyable.
No good.
Yes. And so then I was back on to, I'm not going to enjoy it, because I've tricked my mind into thinking it's going to be so enjoyable because my expectations are so low that my expectations are getting low again. Yeah. And then so low. Yeah. Then I thought, it can't be that bad. And then bang, up again. I thought it was going to be enjoyable.
And what was the result?
Oh, it was okay.
It was just, But
I think there's been a
far
bit
more
of
interesting was the play of those in your mind. Much more interesting, wasn't it?
People kept on hassling me because I don't like how there's aliens in it. I hope I haven't ruined it for everyone. Oh, sorry, that should have been.
There was aliens in it.
Yeah, because everyone thinks that, like an Indiana Jones film, like you're
aliens. Surely, you mean creatures from the past.
No, do you know how those people who say those, like, Mayan empires or whatever,
all of them,
those ziggurats in Peru, that they were built by aliens? And Stonehenge,
chariots of the gods.
Yeah, and Stonehenge was built by aliens, so that's what Lucas and Spielberg have gone for.
I see.
Sorry about ruining the last 5 minutes of the film.
No, thanks for that, John. I was going for the first time in 2 years to go to the movies tonight to see Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. But if there's aliens in it, I'm not going.
No.
So thanks for that. It's always a pleasure to do business with you. Is that the only film you've seen?
Oh, I saw that.
I expected you to be every night at some extraordinarily, avant-garde film festivals.
I did see.
Did you go and see Indiana Jones?
I saw a film that sort of reminded me of you. It's called
again.
Yes, it's called La Orphanage or something, which means the orphanage.
Yes,
hang on, no, but in Spanish. What's Spanish for the orphanage?
La Orphanage.
And it's like it's all these little kids
in a Catholic institution,
and it's a haunted house, and because the orphans got beaten on the head and stuff like
by
that.
aliens. Yeah. So was it good or not? You recommended, but you didn't go and see The Counterfeiters.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Just what, passable?
Oh, I don't like. People have the wrong impression of me. They think I want to see transgressive stuff, but I don't. I don't like for example, I don't want to see like a dogfight. It's not like I'm there going, oh, I'm so glad this filmmaker's pushed the boundaries. And
none of that.
There's a real limit to how much I want to see a prisoner of war camp.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, yeah, of course. But this was supposed to be a gleam, a light of hope out of The Counterfeiters.
No.
All right.
No light of hope whatsoever. No. It was another one of those World War II prisoner of war camps that ends on a fizzer.
Not It's a Beautiful World.
Or Wonderful Life with that
Wonderful Life?
This is getting so
boring.
Sorry.
Well, we're going to talk to people here, for God's sake, in a minute, who are going to brighten up our miserable lives when talking about the Hindu calendar art.
Yes.
You see? Cool. That'll be brighter.
Thank you.
The shortwave set with No Social John, Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
We have a man who is both an expert in theology and also an expert in art, Shrinivas Krishna, joining us from Canada. But in the studio now. He was in Canada, but now he's here. And he has an exhibition that's playing in Melbourne, When the Gods Came Down to Earth. How are you?
Very good, John. Thank you for having me here.
Now, please tell us, can you give us a broad, when you put in the form to get the grant to do this, what did you say this was about?
Well, I didn't get a grant to do it.
Oh, really? Sorry. Was that condescending?
No, I wish I had, but I missed all the deadlines. It happened because of Robin Archer and the Light in Winter Festival, which is starting on the 21st in Melbourne. This installation is a major component of this festival. The festival itself teams up artists with different communities in the city to give an interpretation of light.
And this one is tied in with...
This one is not tied in with any specific community. Every festival, what they do is commission one work from someone outside of Australia to give an interpretation of light. And when the gods came down to earth, happens to be mine this year.
And the God bit, that's what we're interested in, because it's a religion show. Mm-hmm. How is religion informed in this work?
Well,
or the other way around?
Well, it's a good question. The gods that I'm referring to specifically are Hindu gods. Something really interesting happened about 100 years ago. Is at that time when the British were ruling India, British or European art was all the rage. Oil paintings on canvases, and until then, artists had been doing different kinds of art and different styles of representation. At that time, painters started painting Indian gods and stories in a style of European, kind of academic realism. And at that very same time, or shortly after, the printing press really took a giant leap forward technologically, where you could print out 1,000 or 2,000 copies a day. So artists like Raja Ravi Verma, who was, great artist of his time, very popular, started printing their paintings as prints, and selling them in the market. And for the first time, for most people, who until then had really only known of the gods, which had existed as stories for 3,000 years or so.
But they would have seen them also in, the temples and stuff, would they have?
Indeed, and many would have. But, temples are limited geographically by their place, and often entry to them is limited depending on who you happen to be in society at any given time. But what the mass media, and the poster was really the first, mass media image.
So people could take their god back home.
Exactly. Buy it in the market, put it up at home, worship it. Wherever they happen to be, whether it's in their car or auto rickshaw or in their living rooms. And this fundamentally changed religious practice and who controlled the gods and what they meant forever. And this is an interesting thing. I mean, it's what mass media, I guess, does everywhere, is it takes that part of society that was the property of a few and makes it available to everybody.
So they no longer had to go to the temple to worship Ganesh.
Not necessarily.
Or Hanuman.
Exactly.
They could do it at home and then kind of
and
make it their own.
They didn't need the priestly caste.
Exactly. No.
So they domesticated
indeed
religion.
And set it free from the confines of a specific location. And what it also did at the same time was it changed the visual landscape of the country forever too, because until then the gods may have existed in any number of representations and iconographies, but with this kind of mass-produced imagery that was, kind of distributed all over the land in a more or less uniform kind of way, and a uniform kind of iconography. The representation of the gods changed forever too. So, you have baby Krishna who now looks a bit like Cupid. Or Rama who started looking a bit like Apollo, because that's
this kind of hybrid type thing.
Yeah, it is, and that's the popular culture. I mean, the stories and the myths and the gods were also the popular culture of the continent for many years. And what mass media did was turn it into a visual and cinematic popular culture as well.
And is that continuing to this day? Because the mass media is just getting more intense, obviously, with the internet and computers.
Indeed.
How's that informing Hinduism?
Well, you can do worships now online. There will be in fact, the priests never do leave, do they? Because they now have an online service where you can log on and do a Ganesh puja online.
Now, if you're not Hindu, is it insulting to take the images of Hinduism and use them for your own purposes, like your own techno album cover?
It's a good question, and it depends really on who it might be insulting to. It's like anything. It's they are sacred images to many people, so you have to proceed with caution.
I know Aerosmith got in trouble for having some Hindu god on their album cover. You know more about that, Father Bob, being an Aerosmith.
That long ago. That long ago.
I did, make a film. My first feature film, Masala, got me into a lot of trouble because Lord, Krishna, the god Krishna, is in that film, and many people objected to my representation of the god. Although I thought I had represented the god with a great deal of affection and fidelity to the character, people took offense, and I think if people are going to take offense, they will.
I remember I once had to film something in India, and I had to somehow get across to the audience who Hanuman was without mentioning it had the characteristics of a monkey, because that seemed to insult all these people. Like, don't say he's a monkey. It's like, okay, but I had to weave around it, which was strange.
That is strange.
Because he's a monkey.
Well,
he's got the characteristics of a monkey.
Well, he's a part monkey, right?
Well, that's what I thought. Oh, we're going to get in trouble now again.
Well, trouble is your middle name.
I reckon, don't you reckon the Hindu texts are just the most amazing, colourful stories out there?
Yeah.
Like the Ramayana is just, it's like amazing. It's like there's an aspect to it where it's like modern cartoons or something when you're reading them. Like all these fanciful stuff that's incredible happens. Monkeys change shape. They dive through the air. Things catch on fire. It's so much better than either your testament or my testament.
Even yours.
Even more. I will put that out there.
Well, it's the stuff, it's the, bedrock of the culture. And people have been developing these stories for, millennia. And it's that subconscious, strata of
When would the
culture.
last story have been told?
They're told over and over again, and they're revised generation to generation.
They? Each generation retells the story in its own...
Absolutely.
Its own genre.
Indeed. As late as the 1980s, Ramanand Sagar created a series on the Ramayana. It was like a daily soap opera every half hour. Another episode would come on, and trains would literally stop in the middle of a station, en route, so that people could get out of the train and watch the program in the train station. It was that popular.
When the Gods Came Down to Earth by Shrinivas Krishna is showing at Federation Square if you're in Melbourne up until the 13th of July 2008. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Sleeping Lessons by the Shins, John, Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
Someone sent me an email and, a member of the world who I don't know, and I was reading it and I didn't quite understand. I was talking about my work and stuff, and then I was a bit confused. It nearly made sense but didn't quite, and then it was making less and less and less sense. And then I realised this person thinks I'm Jonathan Safran Foer, the author. Shall I engage with this person and write back? It's all about what did I mean through my... Shall I pretend I'm Jonathan Safran Foer and write back, or is that just wasting everyone's time?
It is, isn't it? But it's an art, isn't it?
Yes.
Of the internet.
But
is to do it, but then say you might distress the other person.
It could become because it could become... I was thinking to myself, why would I bother trying to prank this person just for my own perverse pleasure? But then it could become like a segment on the show.
Of course it could.
Where every week I read out the exchange back and forth from this person who thinks I'm Jonathan Safran Foer.
You see what I mean?
We'll do that.
It's an art form.
Okay, we'll talk about something else, but I'll during the next song break, I'll try to find the email, and then you can help me write an email back to them.
To this person.
Hey, you'll be happy because Muslim scholars have they've got together £50,000 for a project to translate the Quran into Gaelic.
Oh, that'll be helpful.
For you Scottish people. So you're going to have some competition to your religion back in your homeland.
Yeah. And what about this awful set of papers that I got off the internet?
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm only saying that I got them by mistake, but here it is advertising World Youth Day, which is a Roman Catholic carnival in Sydney, and all of a sudden I've got 28, 30, 40 pages of anti-Roman Catholic, modern Catholic diatribe, and I wondered to myself, how the hell this is on the page advertising World Youth Day. Anyway, that's for me to work out. And also they're selling olive wood rosary beads with grains of the soil of the Holy Land impregnated in the rosary beads. That's nice, isn't it?
Now, Benjamin has contacted us for our... this is if you have any examples of 1 degree of George Bush Halliburton neocon death machine where it's usually done by John Fane talkback people, and also age letter writers, where you try to connect any slight in the world with George Bush. Hi, John and Bob. I too enjoy the ludicrous links that people make to blame everything on Mr. Bush and America, and I saw something I thought you might, blah, blah, blah. I work part-time in a liquor store and watched as one of the regular customers linked the price of Elko Pop rising, because it's recently risen, to the price of oil rising, to the invasion of Iraq by Australian soldiers because of Bush and his administration. The customer seemed to feel he was being completely reasonable in linking the price of Elko Pops in Australia to George Bush. So
George is sorry you use such language, he's saying now. Such brutal language, and he's going to repent for the whole of the remainder of his time in the president's seat.
He's probably left it a bit late. Now, this is another letter writer. I'm trying to see what his name is. He calls himself, or her, calls himself Sambo. Dear John, I hope I'm not attacking your hotter-than-thou Eurasianness when I point out how Eurocentric it is of you to promote Baba the Elephant. Because he mentioned Baba the Elephant, which is some kiddies book, as something so normal that it's not even worthy of anything more than a simple mention. How did you allow yourself to believe that Baba is anything else but colonialism's last socially acceptable tool of propaganda? Because it's still in the kids' libraries. I guess there's nothing wrong, they're being sarcastic, with a cartoon made for children in which an African citizen, yes, an elephant if you want to be a specious, gets violently orphaned, emigrates to Paris, and then comes back to Africa to become king and force his entourage to dress up like Westerners. Is there? And please disregard the absence of black people. It's probably just a coincidence. The only character in Baba who are humans all happen to be white. What do you reckon about kids' books that propagate, like snuffing out, getting rid of, what's his name, the Gollywog from Enid Blyton? Are you going to engage with me on anything?
Yeah, I'm just reading this thing about...
Why are you reading that?
Gnomes. Gnomes.
It's not like you're 73 years old.
No, I'm interested in gnomes.
You've got plenty of time during the week.
Why are there only old gnomes with white hair and beards?
Why is that?
Old white-haired and bearded gnomes are nomadic. Isn't that nice? And they're often seen as they explore the farthest corners of the world. Consider the gnome who trampled the length and breadth of Alaska and sang of "There's no place like Nome." Isn't that funny? I knew you'd like that. Yeah, I don't know about kids' books. I mean, look at this kids' book here by your friend. What's his name? Tales from Outer Suburbia. Sean Tan. One of your. Now, I mean, kids' books it's dark. But kids are dark. Aren't they?
You know, you can really wind up children's book authors by you got to pretend you're really naive. Is by you say to them about how that would be a bit easier than writing a regular book because there's less words. They get furious.
Stirs them up.
They get really furious.
Yeah, because it's an art form.
Well, they claim it is, but come on. It's like
I would have thought it was. I would have thought it was. Have you ever been into grade?
Are you honestly telling me that, coughing up 500 words, no matter how brilliant they are,
I am,
has the same skill as
you've never been in a schoolroom talking to bubs? Bubs, the infant class. Have you?
Yeah.
I have. Am I the only one in the studio who has?
Yes.
And I know there's a very great skill talking to kiddies who are 6 years of age.
You know, my only interaction with children ever has been...
You don't like them, though. You say they all look funny and they got cross eyes and things.
was when I had to babysit.
And you said to the mother, don't worry, somebody has to have the ugly baby. You said that.
When I had to babysit my boss's son in the Northern Territory, and he spat on me, and then I grabbed him by the collar and shook him.
Oh, for God's sake, you'll be arrested on leaving the studio.
He spat on me.
This is imaginary. Who spat on you? The father?
The kid.
Oh.
The kid. But, it wasn't like a baby. I didn't shake a baby. I shook an 8-year-old.
Doesn't matter. They'll be out there outside that door, and I'm not going to be available. I'm leaving by the back door.
I fessed up to the mother straight away. I said, I'm sorry, I shook your 8-year-old, but he did spit on me.
Well, your physiotherapist spat in your eye. Didn't shake him.
I see your friends, Father Bob, at Mercy Ministries have had to close down their Mercy Ministries.
Why?
The Gloria Jean's Coffee and Hillsong-supported religious program, under investigation for its controversial use of exorcism to treat mental illness, has announced its Queensland's home will close. Apparently all the sponsors pulled out as soon as it got into the press that they were performing exorcisms.
And the story broke on Triple J one Sunday night, didn't it? Yeah, so somebody else will be waiting outside the door of the ABC too, together with the baby's father. Gloria Jean herself will be there.
I'll have one last attempt to engage you in a conversation based on a listener. Luke writes, this is in regard to Irish twins, about whether a woman...
Oh, God, she had two umbilical cords, he says, you can't have.
Whether a woman can get pregnant and then, like, a month later get pregnant a second time, so you have two pregnancies going on in one time.
Is there anybody out there who can definitively solve
Hey,
this?
Bob and John, I am a twin. My mum fell pregnant with me 4 weeks after she was pregnant with my brother. My egg just came down at the right time. It's rare, but it happens. Luke.
What are we saying about that?
I don't know. I'm totally out of my league. I don't know nothing about science.
Jeez. No, I'll have to study
I'm like
that.
Jenny McCarthy. I've got the audacity to hassle Jenny McCarthy for engaging in the autism debate.
But can't
I'm pushing this bizarre a woman can get pregnant twice at the one time agenda that no one's on board.
What did he say? He said his brother was in the womb.
My mum fell pregnant with me 4 weeks after she was pregnant with my brother.
The egg, which was in fact him.
We really... Do you know from now on we will not talk about science unless we have a...
We better, because some boys and girls saying we should check up on the research.
What do you call it when you go on a date and there's someone there?
How would I know?
A chaperone.
Yes.
We need a chaperone with a science degree if we ever talk about science on this show.
All right.
So, sorry, listeners, that is the last time you'll ever hear us mention science without a chaperone. We'll talk more after this.
Albert Goes West by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, John, Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
Bought a book this week, Father Bob.
Eat Thy Neighbour.
A History of Cannibalism. Now, you told me cannibalism's okay, according to your religion.
If they're dead, the other guys are dead and you have crashed your aeroplane into the Andes Mountains.
So you're allowed to eat them.
Because you know that, kill them and eat them.
You know, because there's things in Judaism where it's like even if your life is threatened, you can't do that.
I know that.
Like you can't bow to an idol. It doesn't matter what happened. Don't bow to an idol, even if you're going to die. But you're saying cannibalism doesn't.
I don't think you
have
to eat them. I think you can eat them. See what I mean?
Yep.
What are you thinking? What have you got that axe in your hand for? See what I mean?
I wonder if
Well, I don't know. What are you saying about all that? So you've got no opinion.
I don't know. I think people find it a bit distasteful.
Of course it's distasteful.
I think I've brought up because I think in whilst on my projects, I think a few times I brought up the whole cannibalism gambit.
And it's not been well received?
Yes, and it's like, oh no, John, and I'm like...
Yeah, isn't it a bit nasty?
Yes.
So you've sucked me into that now. I'm in the black hole.
probably wouldn't eat human flesh.
Even if you were going to cark it?
Oh, no, I mean for television.
Well, for lunch, you mean?
No, for television, I wouldn't eat human flesh. I'd probably think, oh, no, that's just going to... I don't want to be... Because then it would take over everything else. I'd stop being... Oh, he's the guy who pranked Ray Martin, or he's the guy who did the exorcism. It'd be like...
He's the bloke who ate the chef.
Yes, I'm like the human flesh guy who ate, and, I reckon people to cross the road. It's like it's such a fine line between clever transgression and, eating human remains.
Yes. Do you know anybody who's eaten human... Look, for God's sake, change the subject.
It's
Give me a look at the book. I like the look of that book. Eat what? Eat Thy Neighbour. Yes, my God, have mercy on us. Look on the front page. Who's that Goya? I believe no gentleman would repine to give 10 shillings for the carcass of a good fat child, which will make 4 dishes of excellent nutritive meat, said Jonathan Swift, 1728.
Now, the whole thing with the Eucharist in your religion, oh my God, why are you pulling that face?
No,
the whole thing.
I'm all right.
You're like eating like the body of Christ.
Yes, but I mean, don't get us into that, for God's sake, because you know the church police are waiting out there, and as soon as I say no, we're not eating the actual physical body of Christ,
you see,
I'm under arrest.
Bob's in a spot of trouble here because Catholics believe that eating the body...
This is my body, this is my blood.
Catholics believe that eating the body of Christ with the Eucharist isn't a metaphor. Like if you go to a Catholic priest and go... Oh, when you tell me I'm eating the body of
Yes,
Christ, is that a metaphor? They can't say it is?
No, they can't. The church police will be all over them.
So you're saying that Catholicism, therefore,
No, I'm
there
not.
is cannibalism in Catholicism.
But that's not cannibalism. You see what I mean?
Yes. You're in a
See?
bit of a trap.
I'm trapped.
You're trapped
because the
it's
church
neither.
police will say, if you don't say that this is the physical flesh and blood of Jesus of Nazareth, you're under arrest. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Now, I'm saying, but your grace and your holiness, it can't be like that. It must be something other. But I'm not going to be trapped on the other extreme, which says it's not. It's a symbol. There's something going on in between, John. When your mobile phone rings and it's Alex, your father,
Yes.
and you say, hello, Alex, and I say, hello, call the police because John Safran's talking to Alex and he's not in the room. You'll say, I am speaking to Alex, who's not in the room.
Yeah. Over
I'm
the phone.
saying the body and the blood, the bread and the wine, like that. But not a symbol, John.
That made no sense at all.
It doesn't not supposed to make sense.
Oh, how isn't that
That's
very
why
convenient?
he's talked like that in code and sorted out the boys from the children. The kiddies want explanations. See what I mean?
If you've ever eaten human flesh, please go to the guest book.
Do you say oftentimes
triplej.net.au/Safran.
you've heard mothers say to their babies,
What's that?
you're so beautiful I could eat you. Now, do you call the police immediately and say this woman's a cannibal?
No one's calling the police.
Well, they'll look at the picture on the front of that. Now, if that's not worth calling the police, I don't know what is.
We'll try to get because I wonder if there's probably still cannibalism going on these days, but they don't tell us about it because it's like all a bit icky.
New
'cause they
Guinea
don't
had
wanna-
a few cannibals
Yeah.
left, but we're not allowed to mention the tribe.
That was right because that was
I'm
quite
not gonna say
recently,
anything.
wasn't it?
I'm saying nothing.
They're always eating your people, the clergy.
Well, that's because probably they, look as though they've got a bit of extra, what?
We're going to talk more
Poundage.
after this.
MGMT with Oracular Spectacular John, Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
Joining us in a water-filled booth in Sydney is John Archer, author of The Wisdom of Water. How are you?
Hi, John.
Oh, hey. Oh my. Hello?
Hello.
Oh my God, sorry. Something
What
happened to my headphones. I don't know.
Oh.
Now, this is a book on spirituality, but as it relates to rain droplets and snow and all other things are H2O related, is it not?
Indeed. I think mostly when we think about water, we just think about the stuff that comes out of the taps. And really, water surrounds us. We are water. The world of water is out there. If you take away the water, what do you have? A
Nothing.
desert.
Yeah, we all know that, but you're saying your book goes even further, and you seem to be saying water, not only is there God in water, but water is God.
I am saying that, yes.
So-
yes, I think that's if you've got to have a religion, I think water's a great God to have. But I've sort of spent a lot of time with cultures that did worship water as a god. And I started out being a skeptic, but I became convinced as I went along. And the evidence is there, John, in my book.
Evidence? No. Tell me about a culture, one of the cultures that worships water.
Let's look at India for a moment.
Yes.
The Kumbh Mela, which is a festival that happens every 7 or 8 years in India, last one had 30 million people, all worshipping the river.
And
that's bigger than a population of Australia.
So, yes, Bob.
Oh, and they're not the only ones. I mean, there are lots and lots of indigenous cultures who worship water. I mean, look at Lourdes.
That's
What-
that's Bob's
That's
people.
our mob.
That's your mob. That's
My
right.
mob used to go there. The Scottish Maguires used to take it on themselves every year to go to Lourdes, I'm told, and to carry the sick people on stretchers down into the water-filled baths.
Yep.
That was their annual pilgrimage. So I suppose the Scottish Maguires would be worshippers of water
Well, I
much as
mean,
anybody else.
if you thought that it was just God that was healing them, you wouldn't need to cart them down to the Holy Spring, would you?
No, but no.
Now, one of the things I liked about your book wasn't so much. I liked all the water stuff. That was great, but a slightly too kind of new agey and hippyish for my tastes. But I liked it when it got into like the evil animals in the water, like yetis and bunyips and so forth. And I didn't know until I read your book. In Tibet and Nepal, as recently as 1958, the yeti was listed as an officially protected species.
Absolutely, you can't shoot them, mate. You can't shoot them.
Do you believe water? Do you believe in all these creatures of the water and the snow and blah blah? Do you believe in them too?
No, not necessarily. But I was using them as an example of how we create. I mean, I think yetis probably do exist. Maybe. I mean, a bit like the Loch Ness Monster. How do we know? Yeah. But the bunyip, definitely. The bunyip, I think, grew out of stories. Like seals apparently made their way upriver. Like the seals had been seen 1,000 kilometres inland along the Murray. And maybe that was the beginning. I mean, people who'd never seen a seal in a river before maybe thought it was a bunyip.
What about the pond-dwelling serpents in Australian Aboriginal culture? Do they exist?
We'd have to talk to the elders about that. I'm not here to... I mean, I spent a lot of time in the desert around campfires. I worked with the Pitjantjatjara people in the 1980s in the Central Desert, and it's a different world there. What you believe exists and what you may believe exists changes when you get into these sorts of situations and places. And I think that people's beliefs perhaps even have the capacity to create the imagery that they worship, that they believe in.
Yeah, I like you sitting under the, what's that you call it, the black masseur.
Ah, the haunch of the
Your
black
friend,
masseur.
the black masseur, fixing your shoulders and your neck.
Well, you know, especially in Japan, where they actually pipe hot water, from hot springs, and they drop it 10 feet, and you stand under this 10-foot waterfall, intentionally made waterfalls, and you can position yourself wherever you like. And I've seen sort of nude, aged women with plastic shopping bags over their heads, because you've got to keep the hairdo intact. But you lie around under these things and get massage wherever you want to, and for as long as you like.
Now, who are these Senegalese people who can breathe underwater?
Well, it's a story. It's a story that came from an explorer's diary years ago. It's been repeated in many books, and I thought it was worth mentioning because there are. The Senegalese are an African tribe or an African culture who have people who have the reputation of being able to stay underwater for a long while, like an hour, 2 hours, whatever. They're fishing people. Maybe they've learned something we don't know, or they've got some secret. I haven't been to Senegal. Most of my life has been around Southeast Asia and Japan and the Pacific. I haven't yet got to personally explore those parts of Africa, but I'd like to.
All the water in those areas you mentioned, in fact, apart from Japan, is coming from Tibet.
Much of it, yes.
Isn't it extraordinary how all the water in all those diverse areas seem to go back to the same source?
Did you see that there was a
holy mountain?
There was a Wild China thing on Tibet on SBS or somewhere, on the ABC.
Yes.
Recently, which actually looked at all that. It's a beautiful country. But the lakes, Tibet was once a massive lake. When it rose up from under the sea, the whole of Tibet was one big lake. Mm. And so these rivers are the vestiges of the draining of that primeval lake that Tibet once was.
For the Aussies, of course, you've got the phenomenon of the surfing, haven't you? We haven't got it in Melbourne or Victoria, but certainly New South Wales, where that becomes a religion of its own, doesn't it? People floating around waiting for the perfect wave.
It's that the eye of God that intrigued me.
The bra boys.
Yeah. Well, no, the bra boys are on the other side of the argument sometimes, but the very devout surfers really do, worship water in a very practical way, and their knowledge is incredible. When you sit down with some of these boys and share whatever it is they're smoking, you learn all sorts of things from them.
We're 91% water ourselves.
Hey, Bob, what's that thing they put in the water supply? like the government puts in?
Fluoride? Fluorine. What do you call fluoride?
Fluoride.
Very bad for you.
Oh, do you have a controversial opinion on that?
I've written 6 books on that sort of subject. Yeah.
Oh, really?
No,
So are you against it?
Of course. It's a dreadful idea.
Do you know what I like about the fluoride in the in the water argument is if you listen to ABC Talkback, it's like this. What's the non-pejorative way of saying conspiracy theory? Like
Smart.
It's like for people of a certain age, that's their because like younger people have all this stuff like about 9/11 conspiracies or whatever. But it's like at a certain age, like before the internet and all that stuff, if you're of a certain age, like that's your conspiracy. The government has put fluoride in the water to control us. So what's wrong with fluoride in the water?
No, it's not there. It's not there to control us. But the point is that the idea of it being there to improve the quality of our teeth. The negative effects of fluoride have been shown in many countries who banned it in their water supplies. We're one of the few countries that actually do put it in our water. Most countries in Europe and South and North America, many parts of the world don't have fluoride in their water because they've seen evidence of its negative health effects. But, we're the Aussies. We'll drink it. It's cool. But an awful lot of people don't. They filter it out, and they're very wise to do so.
You're not saying the fluoride will interact with the metal fillings in our teeth and make us susceptible to subliminal messages?
No,
thank God.
No.
I wonder how they put it in there. I don't understand. There's so many things I don't understand.
There's a man with a big bucket.
I don't
tips
understand.
It in.
I don't understand how we're here in this studio now and people are listening on their clock radios at the same time as I'm talking. Like, I don't understand that. So I'm not going to understand how they put fluoride in the water. Is it like
the fact that I'm a Queenslander, you can't hold that against me. But because Queenslanders are full of conspiracy theories about fluoride, and I'm a country boy as well, that's even worse. But let me tell you, the fact is that fluoride itself is a toxic waste product of the aluminium industry, and up until the time that they started putting it in water supplies, they didn't know what to do with it. It's a toxic waste. Now we dilute it and put it in the water.
Hang on, I'm nearly sure you said a couple of minutes ago it wasn't a conspiracy theory, and now you've snuck it in. You've snuck it in, a conspiracy about how they had all this... The fluoride industry or whatever had all this fluoride that they had to get rid of or something.
That's right.
And dumped it in the water.
Alcoa, straight from Alcoa to you.
Al-Qaeda.
Before Al-Qaeda, there was Alcoa.
Al-Qaeda tomorrow.
Now, this is a good book.
You sound surprised.
No, I'm saying it. I'm wrapping it up. So
despite the interview.
Yes, no. No, so thank you for writing this book.
Many thanks.
And for putting it out. John Archer, The Wisdom of the Water.
Thank you for mentioning the Maguires from Glasgow who went...
Yes, a great pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much to Lourdes. Good on you,
Thanks
mate.
a lot.
Ciao.
Thanks.
Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
Going on by Niles Barkley, John, Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
I'm not sure he's the best advocate for let's take fluoride out of the water supply, our friend John Archer, because I've never heard we can't see him because he was in a booth in Sydney and we're in Melbourne, but I've never heard a person that sounds more like they have no teeth than John Archer. He had a and a whistle and stuff to his voice.
I knew that you'd pick up on that.
I was going to mention it, but I just thought... I didn't know whether it was polite to mention it.
You wouldn't. We asked the leading question.
Him, yes.
Do you yourself use fluoride?
Yes. I mean, actually, coming to think of it, I'm considering it, hey, maybe it wasn't that polite to mention it in front of him. Or, well, it's probably not
less polite to mention it after he's gone.
Yes, where he can't defend himself.
Yes, but I mean, we're hardy
where he
little
can't
spirits,
whistle anything back.
No.
Don't say that. Now, do you reckon people who write letters to newspapers, do you reckon any of them are normal? It's like insane people. I've even got a friend, I know this person, right? And he seems normal whenever I meet him in real life. His name's Mark Kessel. But he's writing these letters to the Jewish News, and he's always like getting in these insane fights where I just can't understand. He had one where it was about some what do you call those towers? For mobile phone towers. So he started having a fight with the synagogue next door to him because they had a mobile phone tower or something like that. He's having
giving us all
wars.
Cancer.
He's having these wars on the page of the Jewish News. Now he's having a fight I've seen this week's with Roger David stores.
Yeah, what have they done?
Well, because they're stocking those kefir scarves. You know those ones like Yasser Arafat has?
Yeah.
So he has gone...
Ballistic.
He's gone ballistic, saying that he knew the original owners of the Roger David stores, and he would have been turning in his grave knowing that now Roger David stores carry a full range of kefirs in 5 different colours. The late Coleman Rogers, a past president of Melbourne Hebrew Congregation, would turn in his grave if he knew that the company he founded had so readily sold its soul.
Sold out.
Sold its soul, yes. Mark Kessel, thank you for lightening up the...
What about all the lovely things that the Roman Catholics are being offered to buy at the World Youth Day? I told you that before. Look at the thing that's come out now to us, a glossy. Look, glossy, recommending that we buy pretty vestments and pretty hats and all kinds of pretty things.
Oh, so they're like limited edition ones for the priests.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Also, an extremely wide range of Roman chasubles, dalmatics, tunicals, copes and humeral veils. The finishings are all handmade and guaranteed best quality manufacture, etc., etc., etc. Jesus would turn in his grave at this. With fringes or tufts, pontifical vestments with gloves, buskins and tunicals.
What's a buskin?
Mitres.
What's a buskin?
A buskin, I think, is a thing you wear on your feet. I think. Simple cloth of gold. How can you have simple cloth of gold, for God's sake? Precious. And for prelates entitled to wear them during solemn pontifical... Talk about Mr. Roger David turning in his grave.
Do you have... Can I get those if I send in the form? Or do
the
you
vestments?
Do you have to, like, show some proof that
no,
you're a
I think
priest?
you can have them. I don't know. All vestments are
Because I once got vestments from the Mormons.
Yeah.
Did you? In Utah.
Just by ordering them?
Yeah, just by walking in
mail order.
and looking like I was a Mormon, like walking to the shop. And then soon after that, they started demanding people produce identity cards. So now if you want Mormon magic underpants from a Mormon shop, you have to go in and produce a card that shows you're a member of the church.
Well, you could call yourself the Reverend John Safranini. Safranini.
Hey, do you know anything about the World War II? Because
of course I knew. Well, as a small boy, I told you 100 times, running around with a lump of black rubber stuck in my mouth to stop the vibrations breaking our jaws, the vibrations coming from the bombs that were going to be dropped on us in Orong Park. What do you mean, do I know what World War II was about?
Because Clint Eastwood and Spike Lee are having a fight over it. Because Spike Lee said Clint Eastwood didn't feature enough black people in his portrayal.
Well, that could well be true.
Flags of our father.
That could well be true. As we are being accused, the Australians, of not having enough Aboriginal soldiers remembered in our retelling of the war stories, lest we forget. So what about Spielberg's film made in South Melbourne, of course?
The which one?
Wasn't it Spielberg?
Yeah.
The Pacific, it was called. Yeah, they're around the corner from me, for God's sake. There's American Army trucks and American soldiers dressed up, and the local women running out asking for silk stockings and for, what do you call it, Lucky Strike cigarettes for their husbands.
I can't understand how everyone has to go through the motions, both the American, director and producers and also the Australians, of pretending anything but they get to do it really cheap is why they film stuff in Australia.
Of course.
So it has to be this, can it just remain unspoken? We all know what's going on. It's so, we're like Mexico, or it's like you just get to shoot things on the cheap here and not pay people as much and stuff. So that's why these big names are coming to Australia. But there has to be that awkward press conference where no one brings that up and pretends it's got to do with our skilled
What's the last
industry.
Australian-made film you saw?
I saw Kenny.
Last?
Yeah, I think so. I saw Home Song Stories with, Tony Ayres.
Not the Canoes?
No, I didn't see the canoe one. Yeah.
See, there's more out there now waiting for you to see them, aren't there?
Do you like Australian films? What are some
I
of
like
your
Australian. No, look, I catch myself sometimes watching them and saying to myself, "Oh, geez, that doesn't sound nearly so attractive as if you had an American accent. Isn't it awful? See, we must have been brought up, me from an early age, thinking that that film actors were only American, which took us years to get used to subtitles on foreign films. Foreign films? Some of the world's greatest films with subtitles. And then when it comes to the Aussies, very, 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 it seems to me, harsh tone of voice, the Aussies. So?
Thank you.
Nothing at all as sophisticated as Jackass 3.
We'll talk more after this.
Custom Kings with Swimming in the Darkness, John. Sunday Night Safran on Triple J.
Are you allowed to use your looks to get ahead if you're good looking?
Yes. You've been blessed, as your mother told you, with good looks. If you've got it, flaunt it.
Excellent.
Is that all right? That's the official Roman Catholic pontifical infallible statement.
I agree with you because I think it's unfair that...
So I've never got ahead in my life.
I think it's unfair that people with interesting personalities try to intimidate good-looking people into not using their looks when their interesting personalities is just... That was just given by... It's not like they've put an effort into having interesting personalities. No. It's like they just happen to be born and they've been blessed with interesting personalities. So where do they get off? Like... taking credit for it like somehow they've had something to do with it and then trying to stop other people using their advantage. So if you're good-looking, don't listen to people with interesting personalities telling you not to use a good look.
Do you find that people who are good-looking do not often have interesting personalities?
No, I disagree.
So do you?
Yes.
You reckon you can have both?
Yes,
that's
definitely.
A bit, is it?
Definitely.
A bit offensive?
Well, no, I think we've talked about this before. I find there are stupid people who think by bent of themselves not being good-looking, that makes them better than good-looking people because they've joined some dots where it's like, I'm not superficial or whatever.
But surely you're experienced, John. As soon as somebody handsome...
There was a group of people when I was growing up, and what they do, I don't want to say how they get or whatever, right?
No.
And they were like, you know, they didn't have much going for them, but I'd catch them and they'd be like reading like these like TV Week or magazines like that, and they'd be bagging the Hollywood stars in it, like, oh, look at her, and oh God, she's a slut, and all that stuff like that. And it's like they thought that just because they weren't good looking and successful, that somehow made them morally on a higher plane than Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, but just because they were better looking and more successful.
But if a good-looking person presents himself, herself to you, I am saying...
Me, John Safran? Or
to you personally.
Yes.
Would you, in fact... I know this is very trying for you because you're going to have to say something that you actually believe in. Do you think that good-looking man or woman, do you expect them to be stupid?
No, definitely not.
No?
Yes.
And your experience, sir, is it
my problem isn't that when presented with an attractive person, my problem isn't that I think they're, like, worse and not worth engaging with.
I see.
If anything, the problem, it would be the other way around.
Because of the pheromonal problem. Because they give off a scent, you know, John.
Do you know sometimes... you don't know this because you're selling... Yeah, how would you know? But sometimes you meet someone and you think... because they're not talking, that they're, I don't know, they're interesting. Because they don't say anything. And you go, what's going on in their head?
It's famous.
So fascinating, right?
And you find they're dumb.
Yes, and then the next thing you know, it's like,
But I mean physically dumb. I mean, they haven't got anything to say.
Yes, and it's not like they're mysterious. They're just not interesting. But sometimes it's too late because you're like... 2 months into the relationship.
But have you ever found an ugly person who, in fact, is scintillating company?
Yes.
And then you don't know what to do because, in fact, you would prefer them to be handsome and scintillating. You say something to them
I'm
quite sensitive, like, excuse me,
No, I'm
sir.
so open-minded.
Yeah?
I can adjust to that.
It's a pity you're so ugly because I find your company scintillating.
You're saying that to me or you're quoting?
Yeah, I'm asking, you know...
Oh, so I thought you were saying that, like, you, Father Bob, were saying it to me.
No, not at all. Not at all. I find you neither ugly nor scintillating.
Do you know what really annoys me like, I'm quite happy to be self-deprecating, right? But there's some situations where to be self-deprecating, I'd be lying. Like, for example, this happened to me. When the first time I went to Japan, like, women were sort of hitting on me. But if you say that here, people are like, oh, John, get over yourself. And it's like, what do you want me to do, lie? I can't help it. It's a fact. I went there and women hit on me.
But that was in the sauna.
No, it wasn't in the sauna.
With the paddles. I've seen
It's like this-
Japanese
it's like this
movies,
other-
John.
It's like this other problem I have, which is
They're dressed
similar.
up in kimonos
Which
and
is
they
similar.
have paddles and they smack fat Japanese men or something in the sauna. Go on, sorry. I interrupted you.
I have another problem, which I think I've mentioned to you before, is I swear on a Bible, I went out, there was this girl who was a lesbian in a long-term relationship with a girl, broke up, and I went out with her, right? But I can't say that because it sounds like I'm making up the story or I'm big-noting myself or I'm not being... but it's just a fact. I can't help it that there was this girl who was a lesbian and then they went out with me. So I basically... converted, and I can't. You want me? Everyone wants me to.
You converted to what?
No, I converted her.
Oh, sorry. What, to heterosexuality?
So I can try. Yes, so I can try to be self-deprecating if you want, and not sound like an a-hole. But to do that, I have to lie and not tell the truth about what happened. So what do you want me to do?
Oh, just keep carrying on the way you are. You know, I mean, it would upset the lot of us if you changed, John. Now, listen, we've got a very interesting interview, and I can't see why you're putting it off.
We'll talk more after this.
Religious Song of the Week.
Joining us in a small booth in Sydney to talk about this week's Religious Song of the Week, we have Tim Madron and Andrew Colblar from the musical act Altar Boys. How are you?
Awesome.
Good. That's good. Hey, thanks for agreeing not to come on in character, because I find that really awkward when, like, guests come in on character, and I'm not sure what I'm meant to be doing. Like, because then you say something funny in character, and then am I also in character? Do I have to, like, pretend to be, like, the straight interviewer that doesn't know that you're being funny? And, you know, it just gets my head, it collapses.
Oh, look, we all play roles, don't we?
Yes. So thank you for coming in just as yourself. I appreciate it. Now, please tell us about this production, Altar Boys, with a Z.
Oh, it's very cool. We've got 5 guys in a boy band.
Yes.
In a Catholic boy band. One of them's Jewish. And their mission is to save the souls of the world, one fan at a time. And they've got this really cool gadget called the Soul Sensor DX12.
Sponsored by Sony.
And it's this metaphysical gadget that senses how many souls in the audience need saving. And we get to do all the saving through song and dance.
And this is... Where is this performing?
We're doing it in Sydney at the Seymour Centre for the next 2 months.
Oh, so you've already started it, though, have you?
Oh,
Opening night was last night.
Oh, really? And how did that go?
It went off, actually. It really did.
we are so open.
Yeah, I know. We saved every soul, and there were a lot of actors in that room. So...
And
yeah, it went off. It was really
how
good.
big's the venue you're playing?
At the moment, I think it's roughly 600 people.
And you got 600 people in?
Yep, full house. Full house went off, so it was really
Wow.
good. And we finished here in August, and then we're coming down to Melbourne, and we'll be at the Athenaeum then. So yeah, and then we
During
head
the
up to
World
Brisbane
Youth
after that.
Day, you see, that you could be on before 50,000 people. But
Well, we are. I
little
think.
Roaming Catholics, are you on that?
Yes, we sure are. We're going.
with
We're performing for
Paulini
the big
and-
fella himself.
Are you?
Yep.
With the meter?
Yeah. Hopefully.
So,
Hopefully that'll roll.
Again, I'd
you've
love
got
to say
you use
thousands.
the meter, for God's sake.
It would have to.
500,000 people, isn't it? Or 200,000?
Yeah, I reckon we could save a few. We could definitely save a few of those people. So.
Now, what is the song we are going to be hearing for this Religious Song of the Week?
we don't know.
I don't know. Any song you want to hear?
They're
What-
all
hang
number
on.
one
The
hits.
producers are talking about. We are hearing "We Are the Altar Boys." Is there anything you want to tell us about this song in particular before we press play?
Well, it's the beginning. It's the opening song of the show.
Yes.
It's a bit of, it's our anthem song.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. And, it just basically sets the tone of what's to come.
Thank you very much, Tim and Andrew, for telling us all about your off-Broadway musical comedy, The Altar Boys, with a Z.
Church is super fine.
We are the Altar Boys.
We love the wafers and wine.
We are the Altar Boys.
And I think
you're fine. We're gonna alter your mind.
John, Triple J, Sunday night, Safran.
There is a listener complaint.
Surely not.
From Sam Nudgy. One thing that bugs me is why do you both refer to each other's religion as you lot? What I don't get is both of you pray to the one God, so why the need to create a differentiation? My father is a Shiite Muslim from Iraq, and my mother is an Orthodox Christian, Armenian, and never has religion cropped up as a source of argument. So please, guys, let's have some more unity.
He wants peace on earth, John. But I think we refer facetiously, don't we? I refer, because there's an old Aussie way of, I think, showing some affection, but at the same time not a licking of the boots of. So we refer to your lot. See?
Thank
we
you.
don't want to be too intimate.
No.
You see what I mean? Too friendly, and we certainly don't want to be too critical. So I'm not going to apologise for using the old-fashioned Aussie
terminology. A few people have complained to me this week. When I say a few, I mean one. But one person in the guest book, two, so that's two.
Yep.
About your advice to me when I've inadvertently been sent the wrong book, and should I just pocket it?
Give it back?
Or give it back. And you said I should pocket it. And two people have told me that this is the wrong thing to do.
Yes, it's hard to know, isn't it? The slings of an arrows of daily living, the morality of daily living, John. Because you catch me out sometimes with what I consider to be in the light of starvation in Sudan.
Yes.
A book that's lifted from Balaclava or is posted to. It's saying, you know what I mean? I'm just in the... I find it difficult to go from the macro to the micro.
How much should you take advantage of a situation? For example, just say you're climbing over a fence at a Melbourne university and then
your foot catches in the fence.
Yes, but hypothetically.
You manage to get your telephone from your pants and you call for help.
And then you sue the university. Should you be doing that? Because, it could be...
Well, he got locked into the library.
Don't talk about any specific
case.
Oh,
sorry.
But should you, if you see an opening for an opportunity, it's like
to make a quid.
To make a quid, come on, it's a big corporation.
Yep.
Like you spill.
It's like the lady who brings the baby to the baptism to my church, and then obviously is trying to drop the baby into the basin.
Yes,
it's obvious because she's oiled the baby, say, and she says, "Now, Father, would you like to hold the baby?" Now,
she's trying to set you up,
Madam. I'm not touching the baby.
Yes,
all right?
She's trying to set you
up. The Pope says, all right? So, and I'm saying, well, the more she fiddles with, what do you call it, fumbles.
Yes.
Fumbles with the, I'm thinking this woman is out, she's going to drop the baby on its head and then sue the Catholic insurance for Catholic insurance money.
What? Have you ever been involved in legal action?
That's a joke, by the way.
Have you ever been involved in legal action?
No, I can't remember being, except for motor car accidents, I suppose. Have we been?
What?
No, I've had a boring life. I don't think anybody's ever sued me, have they? I don't think so. What, for frightening and then turning their baby cross-eyed or something?
No, because you're just so paranoid about these things.
Well, no, I don't think so.
Thought you might have had a bad experience.
No, I don't think so. I can't remember any bad experiences like that. And God knows I've been mucking around in public for 50 years. So you'd think occasionally somebody does leave a heavy-breathing message on the phone answering machine saying that was absolutely disgraceful performance at my daughter's wedding.
I was once sent a letter from Baz Luhrmann's people about copyright infringement, but that's it.
And that's all?
I went to that court for that pitch invasion thing once, so that's two things.
No, you've been very careful, haven't you?
I haven't been, Bill Henson.
No, you didn't put your principles on the line.
No.
Are they worth putting on the line? That's the question, isn't it? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to read from the guest book. I get a bit of fun out of the guest book, but I also feel, as he says, I'm also not a blood type. You're a Virgo, a star sign that worries about things.
You know next week's not going to be so easy for you, Father
Why?
Bob.
Who's on?
No, because I found this thing which is... Because I started thinking, like, with you and with these 9/11 conspiracy theorists and stuff, as well as getting your facts wrong, it's not just your facts that are wrong, it's like your whole arguments are faulty and faulty logic, but I never studied logic in university. So I've gone and I found this thing which is a reasoned argument kit, and what you do, you read through this, and it talks about the different types of arguments and the different types of logic fallacies.
Yeah.
So you can... And you use this to, when you're having an argument with people, to sort of deconstruct as they're talking as to what they're slipping around.
Yeah.
So like deductive arguments and inductive arguments and argumentum ad
hominem.
Ad ignoratium.
Oh, sorry. Ad hominem.
Argumentum ad baculum.
What about
Argumentum
ad
ad misericordium. Argumentium ad consequentium.
Oh.
Argumentiad populum, and so on and so on and so on. Petatio principit, and stuff like that.
It's all in Latin, John, for heaven's sake. You've got to sound as though you've got a mouthful of somebody else's
All I'm
teeth.
saying is next week, Bob, you're in big trouble because I will be
We've got the most logical person coming on the program that has ever been on one of your programs before.
Thank you to
Now,
all
we're
the
not
guests who
heavy
came
on
on today.
logic.
Thank you, Michiko Smith. Thank you, Father Bob. Thank you, Shrinivas Krishna. Thank you, John Archer. And thank you
And
to
the Altar
Madram
Boys.
and Elta Koblar. And you go to triplej.net.au/Safran.
And producer David and
producer David.
fatherbob.com.au.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.